I think you've just got a glimpse of the future of education.
The runaway success of Khan Academy, which launched in 2008, showed the potential for online learning to revolutionize K-12 education. It meant that a great classroom lecture could be experienced by anyone, anywhere. And learning software from companies like Dreambox could act as a personal tutor.
We've developed the intelligent adaptive learning technology that accelerates student learning.
12 years later, classrooms mostly look like they always have, and many teachers are skeptical that technology can fundamentally remake classroom instruction.
This whole idea of turning over education to technology takes away the human element.
Computers have been used in classrooms since the 1980s. By 2000, there was one PC for every 5 students in American classrooms. In 2008, the same year that Khan Academy launched, the legendary business professor Clayton Christensen, who passed away last week at the age of 67, co-authored a book applying his theory of disruptive innovation to the classroom. When used disruptively, software could solve the problem of students learning at different speeds. While some are bored, others are struggling to keep up. Christensen and his co-authors wanted to flip the structure of the classroom and make it student-centric. They would watch online courses given by the world's best instructors. Educational apps would gamify learning, help track progress, and personalize the content. Teachers could then use classroom time to help students tackle bigger, more conceptual problems. Christensen and his co-authors predicted that by 2018, about 50% of high school classes would be delivered online. And they dismissed the objection that government bureaucracies and teachers' unions would stand in the way of rapid change. Their prediction didn't come true.
I would say the big lesson that I've had is not that I'm disappointed, but just that it takes a long time to do this.
Michael Horn, who is one of Christensen's co-authors, is a Harvard MBA who specializes in education technology.
You're trying to overthrow literally a century of policy and practice around our current school system, and all of a sudden we come along and say, wait a second, we're not doing it the right way.
Schools have continued to integrate computers into classrooms, but Horn says they haven't brought fundamental change.
We think that every student, because they're in 5th grade, for example, should be doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, and then we should test on those exact same things. We literally fund schools based on the number of minutes that students sit in seats, not how much they learn.
Disrupting class included a plea to philanthropists to help fund this disruption. Foundations answered that call, but with limited impact. Take Summit Learning, which is backed by Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. Its goal was to be in 50% of public schools by 2025. Over $100 million later, it's used in just 0.4%. Although according to the education news site Chalkbeat, Summit declined the opportunity to be studied by a team of Harvard researchers, it can point to anecdotal successes, such as the experience of one public middle school in Washington, D.C.
So we got wind of this program and said, like, hey, let's try it, like, let's pilot it.
Summit Learning flew teachers to California for training and covered the entire cost of the program.
We saw just student engagement increase and actually like behavior referrals decreased because students were engaged 100%.
Denise Edwards tied teachers' performance evaluations to the new online curriculum.
As a teacher, you want that control over your classroom, like this is your space, this is your baby, and like letting go brings about fear.
But Emily Raskin, a math teacher at another DC high school, says that the flipped classroom model ignores the realities of student behavior.
I think that we look at the next big thing that seems great to adults and assume that it's going to be the same thing for kids. So if you assign them to watch a video, for example, at home one night that is maybe 10 minutes long, by 30 seconds in, if they're not really interested, they just kind of zone out and they come to school the next day really believing that they have watched the video.
In some schools where Summit was implemented, parents fought to overturn it.
Parents and students often just don't know what they don't know about school. They don't know what it could be, what opportunities they might be missing.
Necesitamos 2 mesas para la familia. Yes.
The subjects that we cover in the electronic apps are science, history, geography, we do music, Spanish, math, art.
According to Clayton Christensen's theory of disruptive innovation, change happens first in the segments of the market so insignificant that nobody is really paying attention to them, but eventually they grow to overtake the industry. Disrupting Class gives homeschoolers as an example. Melissa Keegan is a mother of 5 in rural Maryland.
And I'm not a teacher. I'm not trained to be a teacher. I don't think you need to have that in order to homeschool if you have apps like these.
And we're living in this moment, I think, where we can reshape the models at the heart of education and leverage these tools and technologies.
Are we on the eve of seeing the end of the traditional classroom?
No reason why it really can't happen in every classroom in America tomorrow.
Or perhaps Christensen and Horn are guilty, as the saying goes, of mistaking a clear view of the future for a short distance. The current classroom model may survive for a long time to come, at least until software gets better at approximating student-teacher interactions. And when change does occur, chances are it will look nothing like we had imagined.